So on this nice night to ride through the city, let's get into some. Well, of course, I'm gonna start with the obviously one that's near and dear to my heart. New York Knicks versus Philadelphia 76ers series upcoming. Obviously, that one is nearest and dearest to my heart. Right? All right. So let me see if I can roll down 42nd tonight. What's going on over here? Yeah, that one is obviously nearest and dearest to my heart, and obviously the city of Philadelphia saw what happened down in Atlanta, or the Sixers owners saw what happened down in Atlanta, and rightfully so. They jumped out and put a ban on all non-Philly zip codes buying playoff tickets, which is quite the move. Right after beating Boston, when you have Boston fans, you have Philly fans up there in Boston, and I just saw the video of them getting one getting beat up in an Allen Iverson jersey. But obviously, they know if the Knicks fans are willing to travel to Atlanta, they are clearly willing to travel to 2 hours down the road down there in Philly. And so look, that's the shenanigans played. That's the shenanigans played by the owners and the managements that are scared that the Knicks might just take over their building. Look, Philly, y'all got some rabid fans. Y'all obviously traveled pretty decently to Boston. And shout out to the Philadelphia 76ers for coming back. Now, I want to get into the playoff matchup, and again, I caution being overconfident the way I was against the Indiana Pacers last year. But I'm gonna do my best to be very objective in how I predict the series. My gut tells me the Knicks are gonna win in 5 or 6. I would not be surprised if it was a sweep. But it could be, again, it's one of those situations where people in the Knicks media, New York media, they're and to a certain extent, me as well, have a slight fear that Philadelphia can pose a challenge, especially with Joel Embiid back on the court. I think the Knicks match up rather well with Philly, whether Joel Embiid is there or not. I think an X factor of the series is VJ Escom. Will the lights be too bright for him? It clearly wasn't against Boston. But by the same token, it wasn't like he was consistently good throughout the series. I believe he wound up with a 20-point-a-game average, which is very good for a rookie. But I don't see the weapons in the backcourt of Boston. Like Boston, this is, everybody's saying this is a gap year for Boston. I thought that their system would win them enough games, but I did not see them as a serious playoff contender. And as we've seen, they played themselves out, and I covered it in my earlier video, by shooting too many threes, and it exposed the chink in their armor, where there is no they're not a lights out 3-point shooting team. They're good enough, right? I said this a lot last year when the Knicks shot the exact same percentage as them, and while that's still a good percentage, I believe we were like tied for like 7th or 8th. If you're not gonna shoot closer to 38 to 40% from 3, taking a high volume of threes is very dangerous, especially when you get to the playoffs, because you're gonna meet teams with better. You're gonna beat the better team. You're gonna beat the better teams. And again, they had that strategy. They used that strategy against everybody. I like last year. They did not put fear in my heart because I would see them beat the Knicks on a night where they felt, again, and I think this is the same thing with Detroit this season, where they felt like they had something to prove to the Knicks, because a lot of people said, oh, if you saw a healthy Knicks, you would have lost. Well, you saw a healthy Knicks in 2025, and they lost, and again, they won their championship the year the Knicks were injured, had injury issues, and did not make it to the conference finals. And then when they saw the Knicks, they lost. They didn't lose to a game. Philadelphia 76ers team, after being very arrogant. So, look, Boston and their fans, I have no love lost for their weird fans. I think their fans are weird. Philly, I have a lot more respect for their fan base. And, so we're talking about the outside with the owners and the fan bases. Let's talk about the teams. Again, I said VJ Armstrong will be an X factor for Philly. I think the Knicks have quite a few X factors, and I think the Knicks X factor is one Mitchell Robinson. Right? I think he is like a perennial X factor for the Knicks, because, again, and this is for people who, when I bring up Mitchell Robinson, and I'm a Mitchell Robinson fan, I am. I met the guy, came across the guy, and I'm never a big fan. I'm never the one to ask him for pictures or anything. But, I had my Knicks hat on, my red and black Knicks cap on, that he was shopping for Christmas with, I think, his baby mother or something. And, just got a head nod. I mean, I saw a guy walking through the store. He looked like he was about, I was like, whoa, this dude is mad tall. Then the closer I got, I realized it was Mitchell Robinson. And, it was a, good thing. But Mitch is going to be the X factor, because the amount, look, I don't expect him to lock down Embiid. I don't expect anybody to lock down Embiid. But I do expect, and this is matters, to be able to guard Embiid one-on-one and not let him take over games. Because, lo and behold, he took over that Boston Celtics series. And again, when you're putting up threes and he's taking you to the post and putting belt to ass, right? Which he did. He clearly put belt to ass. This is where you're this is where a team is susceptible to beat. Now, the Knicks, again, do we have guys that can? Yeah, we got guys that can match his scoring output. Now, again, I know you got Maxey, you got Edgecombe, right? You got Paul George. All four of those guys. I think this is probably the best scoring matchup in the series, right? In the playoffs left. You're gonna have. Let's just say if Luka comes back, right? If Luka is able to come back in this series, which again, with a hamstring, I mean, they talking about, it is possible he can come back in the series, but then you'd have a hell of a matchup between SGA and again, I'm talking about basically starting lineups where you have, Oubre is the fifth option on the Sixers, while Josh Hart is the fifth option on the, you know what I'm saying? So to sit there and say, have versatile guys like that be fifth options, and to have a bunch of guys that can get you from 15 to 16 on pretty efficient shooting, that says a lot. I think OG Anunoby, who I think was the biggest X factor of the previous round against Atlanta, will be a hell of a X factor again as well. But I think Mitchell Robinson, because one-on-one defense against Embiid is going to be important. Embiid can not only take over, he can also get your guys in foul trouble, and that's pretty much another aspect of how Mitch can hurt you. How Embiid can hurt you, and if you mitigate that, if you slow that down, that could be the key to the series. Now, again, 2 years ago, Joel Embiid put up hellacious numbers against the New York Knicks. What he didn't do was finish those games. I'll say it again. What he didn't do was finish those games. He played very bad in those fourth quarters. Okay, and that's a factor. And this is going to be the factor as well. Can this man make it through the series? Because It's gonna look.